Okay, welcome back to another tiering list of the RetroBrown channel on the Kanto solo runs. So on this video we're going to have a look at the runs 31 to 40 and in those runs where they sit on this tier list. So the Pokemon we've got to have a look at right now, we've got Raticate, Arbok, Electabuzz, Weepinbell, Abra, Spearow, Electrode, Primeape, Magikarp, and our most recent video, the Kabutops run. And honestly, out of all of the, because I do these in batches of 10s before I then add them to this tier list, this has been one of the more varied 10 that I've done so far. And as you can see there, we've got some first stage evolution Pokemon, some mid tiers, some final evolutions, and we also got one impossible challenge, which was a slog, to say the least, complete slog. And you'll see where we rank all these as we go through. So let's get started with the first one. The first one we have here is Raticate. So Raticate finished the game in 3 hours 27 minutes at level 64. It's definitely an A tier Pokemon, but as to where it sits on that A tier, so Clefairy got 3 hours and 44 minutes and level 61. The next one above it, Rapidash, it got 3 hours 22 at level 62, but it did use double team. But because of that level difference, really, I don't know if I can actually place Raticate above Rapidash, because I didn't actually need double team for Raticate. So it's a bit of a tough one. I think if I didn't have double team, Rapidash probably would have been worse. But because I've used double team, we're going to put it before Rapidash. It makes sense to. It didn't need double team to beast through the game. Because of its end time, honestly, I don't think it's worth an S tier. It's a very high contender, but I don't think it is. Next up, we have Arbok. Completed the game in 4 hours and 33 minutes at level 64. Quite a mid-tier sort of run, really. Not too fast, not too great of a level, but also it wasn't anywhere near as good as Alakazam. Alakazam, it finished the game a lot quicker and a much lower level as well, level 58. Finished the game at 4 hours 1 minute. So I don't think it's definitely an A tier. I think it more sits on that B tier. But where in that B tier, we're going to have a quick look at. Nidorino arguably did the game a lot quicker. It got a better moveset. So even with Dodrio, it got a much better moveset. I think it sits on that B tier for now, but maybe later down the line we'll move it down to a C tier. So yeah, even though Blastoise got a worse time than it, I feel like Arbok didn't do. It was much more of a challenge to actually solo the game with. And put into hindsight, Blastoise was my very first run. Actually, you know what? Just because of the time alone, I'll put it before Blastoise. But it's definitely not better than Dodrio or Cloyster. Just Dodrio was much easier to get through the game with. But maybe, I might have to come back to Arbok at a later date, but I don't think Cloyster, it's definitely not better than Cloyster. Cloyster was very good, apart from its speed. Okay, so next up we have Electabuzz. So Electabuzz finished the game in 4 hours and 1 minute. It was a fantastic run. And because of that, honestly, it's definitely better than. It's on par with Alakazam, or at least the run that I did with it. It's much better than Nidorino. But I think because of the level it finished on, I think it doesn't deserve that A tier just yet. To be fair, I think Alakazam may need moving down as these runs progress. It's definitely better than Tentacool and Nidorino. So yeah, I think Electabuzz is more fitting on that B tier. I might have to do a bit more working around as we do more and more of these videos, but yeah, B tier seems appropriate for it. So next up we had Weepinbell. And again, Weepinbell delivered quite well. 4 hours and 25 in-game minutes to beat the game. And I'm excited for when Victory Bell comes out, because I think Victory Bell could get onto that A tier / it could be an S tier Pokemon. Considering Weepinbell's stats aren't the greatest, honestly, it did really well. I think it's definitely better than Tentacool. Better than Cloyster. I don't think it's kind of on par with Tentacle. Tentacle water types are very good in Gen 1. I don't know. Should I put it before Tentacle? No. But we're also starting to get quite a congested BT, and I might have to do a bit more working around. Okay, so next up was Abra. Abra was a very interesting run. So as soon as you got past Mount Moon, you can get Mega Punch. The game became so quick. But because you only start off with Teleport and you have to struggle to get past Brock, and we've got terrible attack stat, it actually finished the game in 12 hours and 5 minutes at level 67. So honestly, it became a really tedious run until you got past Mount Moon, and then became an absolute breeze. So it's definitely, because of its end time, it's definitely nowhere near a D tier. If it had started off with a different move, honestly, it would have probably been up in the B or A tier, but because of that end time, I think it's appropriate to put it at the bottom of the E tier. It's 3 hours slower than Bulbasaur, so yeah, I think it's very appropriate being in that E tier. And that's pretty much all I can say. If it got a better early game, yeah, definitely would have been a better Pokemon. So next up we have Spearow. Spearow finished the game in 6 hours and 2 minutes at level 87. That's the highest level we've had to beat the game so far, which is very, very bad. But considering the time it actually got to beat the game in, it's got quite a good level up group, so it didn't do too badly. It definitely finished the game a lot quicker than Sandslash and Seadra, so it's definitely not C tier Pokemon, just because of the level that it finished the game at. But considering the time that we did it at, I actually think it's quite appropriate to be in that D tier. Definitely better than Venonat and Dratini, but it was a lot more enjoyable to use than both of them. So I feel like if we knock Gloom down, that's quite appropriate. We could probably knock Blastoise down. Should I knock Blastoise down now? Because the run was awful. I think this seems appropriate right now. Dratini was absolutely awful. I'm going to knock Snorlax down as well, because looking at its time, it didn't do too well. And looking at Arcanine as well, I think Arcanine needs dropping down as well. You may have got better runs than me in all of these, but when I did these runs, back when I was learning how to do Gen 1, really, yeah, I think I didn't do too well with them, and these are purely based off my runs. I think Arcanine needs to be dropped down a tier. I think Blastoise needs dropping down a tier. It's weird that Wartortle is in that A tier compared to being in the C tier, but yeah, I think that's more appropriate right now. So next up we have Electrode. Electrode was actually very surprising. Considering it's got one of the worst movesets for a evolved Pokemon, I actually think it's worth a B tier. It finished the game in 3 hours 16 minutes at level 62. We didn't get an electric type move until we got past Surge. It wasn't as good as Electabuzz, because Electabuzz had a better starting moveset. I think it's the B tier, even though it finished the game. I know it was 3 hours 51 minutes that it finished the game. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth that B tier. The moveset it gets is awful. It's an electric type Pokemon that doesn't learn an electric type move on level up. I'm going to knock Dodrio down just because we are getting better times now, so Dodrio's time is nowhere near as good as it was. Yeah, this seems quite fitting. I'll move on to Primeape now. So Primeape really delivered. I did not think it would be as quick as it was. It finished the game in 3 hours and 16 minutes, level 62, which was absolutely phenomenal. And because of that, it even beat Porygon's time and level. Did it beat its level? No, it didn't. It got 2 levels more than Porygon, so... But because of that time difference, I actually think it's an S tier Pokemon, and it's better than Porygon. Weird that the fighting Pokemon has made it into that S tier, but honestly, it was fantastic. So now we're going to move on to our second impossible run of this playlist so far. So, yeah. Gengar is still the king, and Zapdos is the legendary, so you're kind of not surprised that it's on that S tier. Porygon, it was a fantastic run. I really was surprised by it. Magikarp, it is going to go in that F tier. But where it goes in that F tier right now, considering we've only got Kakuna there, I actually think it's basic. It's kind of on par, but because it does get tackle, and we don't have to just rely on struggle to get through, Magikarp I think should be better than Kakuna. It did it in 12 hours 50 minutes, level 65, and that's beating all the major battles before Lavender Tower blocks you off. Because if you don't have a move that can hit past Ghost type moves, the run becomes impossible. So it's one of the impossible Pokemon of this run. Kakuna, it did it in 16 hours 43 minutes, level 62. So there's only a 3 level gap difference, but because of that, it's done it in nearly half the time. I feel like Magikarp, it deserves the top of the F tier. It's fitting. It's an awful Pokemon, but yeah, it's much better than a Kakuna, who could only use struggle to get through every battle. So last up, we have Kabutops, and I'm so glad I finished on this run for this next 10, because we've already knocked Primeape out of its spot on the S tier. It finished the game in 3 hours 11 minutes, level 57. So already 5 minutes better and 5 levels better. So straight away, it is going to be better than Primeape. It's not as good as Gengar. Gengar still did the game quicker, so it deserves its top on its space on the S tier at the 3rd. And there we go. I feel like this is very good representation of my run so far. I'm really interested to see which Pokemon can knock Gengar off that top spot. And I mean non-legendaries that knock it off that top spot. It's going to be interesting. Very surprised that Primeape managed to get as high as it did. And it was such a fun run to do, to be fair. So if you're going to do a Primeape run, honestly, I recommend it. You're going to have quite a lot of fun. Kabutops, again, very fun run. And it's weird how this list is shaping up, really. You've got Pokemon that you never thought would be as good getting into those higher tiers. And maybe once I've finished this 151 of this, I might go back and try the likes of an Arcanine, a Snorlax run, a Sandslash run again, the Pinsir, the Kangaskhan, the Blastoise. I might try all of those runs again to just see how I've developed in playing these games and whether I can get better times with them. But they wouldn't go into this official tiering list. They would just be a rerun, just to see if I can beat that. And it would just be for fun, of course. But anyway, thank you for watching the video, guys. This next 10 Pokemon are going to take us to a total of 50 runs so far. If you haven't yet, check out my Johto solo runs as well, as we've just got to the 10th run in that series. And yeah, please like, subscribe, share, all of that YouTube stuff. Really helps out the channel, and take care, guys.